This story is sponsored by our friends at Kiss the Flower Honey. Welcome to Magical Storybook, a collection of children's stories from around the world. The Elves and the Shoemaker. Once upon a time there was a shoemaker who worked very hard and was very honest, but still he couldn't earn enough money to live on. Eventually, all that he had in the world was gone, except for one piece of leather, which was just enough to make one last pair of shoes. He cut the pieces of leather, ready for him to stitch them together early the next morning, and then he went off to bed. In the morning, he sat himself down to work and was surprised to find that somebody had already made the shoes and had left them there on the table. The good man didn't know what to say or think. It was certainly odd. He looked at the workmanship. Every stitch was perfect, a true masterpiece of shoemaking. That day, a customer came in, and the shoes suited him so well that he willingly paid a higher price than usual. The poor shoemaker was thrilled with the money and used it to buy enough leather to make 2 more pairs. In the evening, he cut out the shoe shapes and went to bed early so that he might start work early the next day. But he was saved the trouble, because when he got up, he discovered that the shoes had been stitched together again. Soon some customers came in and were so impressed with the shoes that they paid him handsomely. And with that, he bought enough leather for 4 more pairs. He cut out the shoe pieces again and went to bed. And in the morning, he found 4 pairs of fine shoes lined up on the table. Now this went on for some time, and soon the shoemaker became very well off. One evening before Christmas, he and his wife sat beside the fire chatting. He said to her, "I would like to sit up tonight and find out who is making the shoes for me." His wife agreed, so that night they left a light burning and hid themselves in the corner of the workshop behind a curtain. On the stroke of midnight, 2 tiny elves entered the workshop. Their clothes were so ragged that they were shivering from the cold, and they had no shoes on their little feet. They sat themselves down on the shoemaker's bench, picked up the cut-out leather, and began stitching away. They worked so quickly and neatly that the shoemaker could not take his eyes off them. "Oh, look at the poor little things, they're freezing," said his wife. On and on they went, quick as lightning, until the shoes were finished upon the table. Then they scuttled away. The next day, the shoemaker's wife said, "These little elves have made us so rich. Let's help them. I'll make them a shirt, a coat, and a pair of trousers, and you make each of them a little pair of shoes that will see them through the winter." The idea pleased the good cobbler, and so that night, instead of leaving the pieces of shoe leather out on the table, the shoemaker left 2 little outfits and hid behind the curtain. At midnight, in came the elves, dancing and skipping. They hopped around the room and then went to sit down to their work as usual. But when they saw the clothes and smart shoes laid out for them, they were delighted and laughed out loud. Then they dressed themselves while springing about as merrily as could be, until at last they sprang and danced out of the door. The good couple never saw them again, but from then on they were never short of customers, and they never wanted for anything again.